help in your relationship? Or maybe your relationship is going great and you just want to strengthen the bond between the two of you. In any case, tune in to Ask Mama E, a show intended to assist in creating and keeping the strongest relationships. Join and watch Mama E, the relationship expert, using her wisdom to guide others into forming stronger bonds.
Started a segment that we're calling Mama E's Mailbox. So Marcia is going to share with me questions that have come in through the mailbox, and we're going to see if we can't address those questions and give you some clarity, hopefully, on the kinds of questions that come in. So take it away, Marcia.
All right. So there's actually a 3-part question.
Okay.
Or 3 questions that kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
One of them is, how do I enjoy this season in my life? The other is, how do I get past this season of survivor's remorse?
Okay.
And then the third one is, why am I alone during this season?
Okay. Let's start with what comes to mind. The writer said, how do I get past this season of my life? I don't think that this was written by a young person. Hopefully, in your very early part of our lives, we're not trying to get past it. We know that there are, of course, are circumstances that even teenagers want to get past if it's bad enough. But let's assume we're talking to someone who is an adult or an older adult. And whatever it is that they're going through, their question is, how can I get past it? So I was kind of thinking, even as I was thinking of seasons, we're in what we call our holiday season.
Yes.
And a lot of times when we're in the holiday season, for some people, it's wonderful. Right. They look forward to the holidays coming. They look forward to having guests over. They're decorating. But then there are people who, even in the holiday season, are not happy.
Right.
Are not content. And what comes to mind is this person must be going through a period in their lives that they want to just get past.
Right.
Okay. I think what I think of, and let's talk a little bit about loneliness, because in most cases, I think that when we're at a point where we want to get past it, we are lonely.
Yes.
Let's talk then about the difference between being alone and being lonely.
So is there a difference?
I think that I could be alone
Okay.
and not be lonely.
Okay.
I think that there are things and people in my life that keep me from being lonely.
Okay.
Even though I'm alone. I might live alone,
Okay.
I might not be married, the kids are all grown. And so from that standpoint, I am alone, but do I have to be lonely even in that status?
I think that's a good question, but so I see the difference between alone and lonely.
And lonely.
Okay.
Because I think lonely is a state of mind. Alone is a status. I am alone because there is no one that I spend all of my time with. There's nobody in the second bedroom, But my state of mind is what tells me, oh, woe is me.
Okay.
I don't have anybody. I don't do things with anybody. I don't go to the movie. And there are people who don't like to do things alone. They don't go shopping by themselves. Again, because it is a state of mind, what we have to consider is, even though I'm alone, I can eat by myself. Right. I really can.
So you can enjoy spending time with yourself?
I can. I like me.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that says something. Maybe because there are people who've spent so much time dwelling on their aloneness, the fact that they feel lonely because they don't enjoy doing things alone.
And maybe because they've been doting on others for so long that they
Yeah.
forgot about taking care of themselves.
Yes. And when we talk, and when I said I like myself, I think that when the scripture tells us to love others as we love ourselves, that kind of says to me, I can't love you until I learn how to love me.
Okay.
So then, while I'm waiting for, and that's not to say that I'm always alone, you know, at whether it be coworkers, family members, there are things that I can decide I want to go to. Now, again, that goes back to deciding.
Okay.
When I say that I don't have anybody, that might mean that you're not taking advantage of the opportunities where there are other people that you could spend time with.
Okay. So does that mean that I'm waiting on a particular person?
Maybe so.
Or that status change, like
That
you mentioned,
yes,
in
yes.
order for me to enjoy.
See, I think so.
Okay, so
That-
we can't reach beyond where we are if I don't have anybody else.
Yes,
Or I don't
right.
want to.
I want this lifestyle.
And if I can't
And
have
if I
it,
can't have that, then I will be alone. I will be lonely. And I think we start then to dwell on the loneliness
okay.
because I didn't take advantage of the group of friends from work who were going to go to a football game. I could have gone with them, but I don't know. I just rather be by myself. And again, I think you hit on something when we think that I'll just wait until I can have perfect rather than settle for what might not be perfect, but would be nice to have. So it makes me wonder then when a person says, how can I get past this? Are we going to wait until we get perfect? Because if I'm not going to be happy with anything short of perfection, then I'll just wait. And then I will complain about the status.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I think that if you're waiting on perfect, and when you think that perfect has shown up and perfect is not perfect, then you're going to still remain
Now,
the
so
same.
what do I do then? Because now I think that I'm past that stage where, I was just couldn't wait to get past it. Now I think things are going to be okay because I don't have to be alone anymore. I now have someone to go to dinner with.
Okay.
But when I find 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, now what?
Then I'm back to
At writing somebody and saying, how can I get past this? Because I'm waiting for another Mr. Perfect.
not be alone.
So then, if I have a choice, if I am alone or lonely, while I'm waiting not to be alone, can I decide that I'm not going to be lonely? And how then, what do I fill my time with so that I'm not lonely?
And I think, like you said, being able to spend time with family, being able to spend time with friends, being able to learn that I like some things on my own.
On my own.
Yeah. I may like going to breakfast by myself.
Right.
But I wouldn't know that until I stepped out and tried it.
Right. And because I'm so unhappy because I am lonely that I won't even try. You could pick up a Folio magazine and just see what restaurant was number one in the city and just try it. That means that you've tried something new. The next month there'll be another one. And so you can fill your time with things that you might enjoy. But as you said, you never know because you never try.
And so I think that people are terrified of even the thought that I'm going somewhere by because what if people look at me?
Yeah, and I was about to say, don't you think that a lot of that has to do with we are concerned about what others think?
Yes.
And because I'm eating dinner by myself, other people that I don't even know, who don't know me, are going to judge.
Right.
That, oh, look at her. Poor her.
Right.
And I think that you made a decision based on lack of information. You don't really know what, those people might not even looking at you.
Right.
And if they did, maybe they looked at you because you're attractive.
Right.
Mm-hmm. This is all about perception. In your mind, you are pitiful because everybody else in the restaurant has someone with them and I don't. So I've decided then that the only thing that will be perfection for me would be if I had someone. Now, we're saying had someone as if the person would be satisfied with having another person, somebody. But if we go back to I'm looking for perfection, maybe they wouldn't even be content with a good friend.
Okay.
If a girlfriend says, let's go try out this new restaurant, but you are only wanting to have dinner with someone who is going to be significant,
Okay.
then you won't have an appreciation for good conversation, good food, laughter that you could have with someone who is there's nothing wrong with this person. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the company of this person, even though you're waiting for Mr. Perfection.
So you kind of changed the dynamics.
I think because unless you just want to wait until Mr. Perfect comes along, but that might leave you sad. That might leave you asking, what can I do to get past this? Well, maybe the suggestion then that we're making is don't give up on Mr. Perfect, but perhaps look for other things that you might enjoy.
So you think if I rode, like you mentioned, this is the holiday season.
Yes.
And
yes.
I rode around to look at some lights.
Yes.
I may enjoy that.
You might. But you would never know because you don't want to look at the lights by yourself. And yet to get an idea of maybe how you want to decorate next year, that comes from looking at somebody else's lights, even doing things with family members. Maybe your children or grandchildren would like to see the lights. Oh. Now, I might not want to spend all my time with them, but sometimes they are just funny. And so just seeing the excitement that they demonstrate by being with you, they really like you.
Yes.
Right now you think nobody likes you.
Right.
But they would enjoy spending time with you. So that what we've said is that there are any number of things that you might enjoy. But because you are concentrating on getting over this, I just want it to pass. I heard a pastor the other day on the radio say something that I hope I always remember. But what he said was, what you focus on will be what you focus on.
So simple yet profound.
Yes, it took me, he had to repeat it a couple of times and I've got it. That what I spend my time dwelling on is what I will dwell on. So I can't talk about anything else because all of my energy, everything that I exert effort into is this, what I'm focused on. And so maybe I can say to this first contact that maybe you are spending all of your time focusing on your aloneness. And because you can't take your mind off that, it is now taking up all of your energy. So let's recognize that seasons are going to change, all right? If we even compare in the natural season,
Okay.
we know that it will not be spring always. I don't care how much you like spring.
Right, I like spring.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's going to change.
Okay.
So what do you do then when spring leaves and summer comes? Do you pout and be unhappy until next spring?
I think instead of pouting, we prepare.
Okay, all right. So my spring leaves and I prepare for what?
For the next season.
For the next season. So I have accepted the fact that there is nothing that I can do about the season changing.
Right. Because it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Good word. It is inevitable. And since I know that it's going to change, I can go ahead and buy swimsuits.
Yes. Because
Summer is coming. And so in making preparation then for a season change, that's good. It's even though I can buy spring clothes because they're going to be on sale, getting ready for but even when I buy the new outfits, it's kind of thinking of next year when spring comes. But in making preparation for a season change, I give thought then to what that next season looks like.
Right.
So I'm going to dress differently in the new season. So I might as well get prepared for that. And then just about the time I get used to summer.
There's that change again.
Wow.
That seasonal change.
And you know, most of the time we hear people really complain about summers, especially in the climate that we live in.
Yes.
You know, and we just hate it. And it's just so hot. And it's 90, and it is. It really is 90 degrees. But the inevitability, if that's a word, of it going away because you don't like it. Now, I guess you could move when we think about what I can do about these season changes. You know, I could move to an area perhaps where the summers were not as hot.
So that's part of the preparation.
That's right. Because if it's that bad, you really need to decide. Because it's going to come again.
Right, right.
And, you know, at some point, to keep talking about it, it makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
And
But it doesn't
the
change
listener,
the season.
And it doesn't change the season.
Okay.
I was even thinking that there are positives and negatives about the season. You know, so all right, we were talking about the spring, and most of the time the springtime is pleasant, you know, and we enjoy the springtime, but there are people who have allergies.
Oh, yes.
And the springtime is not pleasant for them. Again, there's nothing they can do about the spring coming, but they prepare for it. Okay? When we look at the heat of the summer, that's beach time for people who like the beach. I guess my point is that with all of the seasons, there are things about each of those seasons that we might enjoy. But that same season that you like, somebody here hates it.
Right. That's true. So it's never going to please everyone.
Everyone. So let's compare then that natural season change to those things that are happening in your life where what we have suggested is that you accept it, prepare for the change, you know, and don't spend all of your time focusing on that part of your life that you don't like.
So don't focus on that season because that season will change.
It's going to change.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if I am dwelling on the things about this season of my life that I don't like, will it cause me to have to stay in it longer? I really do believe that the sooner I accept what I cannot change, the sooner it will change. Because it is a mind situation.
Okay.
You know, I wonder if I stop complaining about it and fussing up. You know, the children of Israel murmured and complained. And I understand what should have been, I think I heard an 11-day trip took 40 years. Can you even imagine? And that happened to them because they murmured. How many of us are complaining and maybe even God's sick of it?
Wow.
So that I wonder if we're not going around the mountain longer than perhaps we should have to, but we cannot be moved to another station in life because we're stuck. And all we talk about is how bad it is. And this ain't gonna never change. And maybe then if we look back at the children of Israel, even, who was it? Joshua was gonna lead, who was it? That he was gonna take the place of the people who were gonna die out. And there were some people who would never see the promised land because they were like us, sitting around complaining because I don't like the summer.
Wow.
So let's transfer into one of those other questions. I think we talked about
Moving past.
moving past it, yes.
Another one is
Coming up next.
In the snake bite and all of this
and
stuff.
I think one of those times he was in prison when he was writing some of
Yes!
those things, wasn't he?
It was a season. Wow.
In prison.
Can you,
No.
now, for anybody out there who is going through a prison-like season, you know, maybe it's not bars,
Right.
but maybe you're in a season where you feel locked up, that nothing is going to ever change.
Right.
Paul says to us that whatever state I'm in, I've learned to be content.
So you learn.
I was about to ask you, how do we? So we don't expect, and for anybody who's whining and complaining today, it's because you haven't started the lesson, okay? But if I can learn how to be content. Now, tell me if learning to be content means that I'm satisfied with where I am. Can I still ask God for a change, even though I'm learning to be content? Can I be content in this, even though I'm expecting things to change?
And I believe you can. And I think it's more like we said earlier, where it's a mind shift.
Okay.
You know, when I change the way I look at things, the way I look at things will change.
Yes.
So if I can shift my mind that the rain, because it's raining all the time, it's not that the world is over. You know, tomorrow I may wake up and there's sun.
Right.
But I have to, like they say, go and enjoy the rain, run in the rain, you know, do something different, you know, where, how they say, where you can almost trick the enemy.
Right.
You know,
right.
Because I
Are you looking for a state-of-the-art facility to have your latest conference or retirement party? Do you need a space that can accommodate small or medium-sized events? The HC Multicultural Center is the perfect place if you need to accommodate 20 to 150 people for an intimate celebration. Our facility has a cafe with a beautiful lobby with robust parking. We have a 15-foot LED wall and a digital sound system to accommodate for live recordings, not forgetting our sophisticated live stream 4K and 6K camera setup. If you need to accommodate 100 plus people for a large meeting, it is the perfect place for your multicultural event with a friendly staff waiting to serve your needs. When you want it done with class, do it with the HC Multicultural.
Are you in the market to buy new appliances? Or to buy new furniture or a computer, but you are concerned about prices? Prices nowadays are simply astronomical, and you need to be able to purchase it low, but in a convenient way. Let me introduce you to the Maxwell Club. The Maxwell's Club will allow you to be able to purchase directly from the manufacturer. The price of Maxwell's Club is only $39.99 a year. You can shop with thousands upon thousands of manufacturers. Finally, you as the consumer have the power to purchase like some of the major companies. As a benefit of membership, you get discounts and perks around the world at places that you shop at. Sign up today. www.maxwells.club.
Do you want to do a podcast? An actual video podcast, but don't have the equipment? Thought it would be impossible? Well, the impossible can become possible. Give us a call today. We can have your podcast on all of the major platforms in less than 3 days. Our staff is standing by to assist you.
In our world, women wear many hats. Whether she's our sister, auntie and mothers, or godmother, she tends to go out of her way to make everyone okay. But who checks on her? Lifetree Women Care Clinic believes in addressing all of women's health issues and preventative care issues to keep you going. Our state-of-the-art facility that can directly address all of a woman's health concerns. The caring staff of the Lifetree is waiting to serve you. Our director says it like this.
My goal is to meet every woman, one woman at a time, right where she is, and let her tell me what she needs so that we can work together to meet those needs.
Every woman deserves the best treatment, no matter what. We promise to treat the whole woman at the Lifetree Women's Care Clinic. Schedule your appointment today.
Isn't that the place to start?